Hello everyone, and hopefully you are having a good day slash night wherever you are in the world. You know what type of video it is today. Today is another ReZero episode discussion, and oh my god, quite a bit has happened in this episode. I'm very excited to talk about it, honestly. I've been dying to make this video. Quite a lot. I mean, quite a few things have happened. Especially the cliffhanger at the end of this episode. If you're watching this after watching the episode, holy fucking shit! How are we feeling about that? We're gonna get into it in a sec. Yeah, no, honestly, quite a few exciting things has happened. Some things that I've wanted to kind of happen for a while in this series kind of happened. So, yeah, very excited to be discussing that. But yeah, no, enough waffling on my part. Let's get straight into the episode's context, because I'm excited! So the episode starts off with Amelia scolding Julius that he must remain in the healing room until he has recovered from all of his injuries after his rematch with Reed. So yeah, pretty much last episode it was Julius's named chapter, and he challenged Reed to a rematch. Because, you know, it was one of those moments where your knighthood, you know what I mean, your life's work's on the line. He knew who Reed was, yet it was his duty as a knight to kind of prove himself that he can protect Anastasia. It was a kind of a parallel episode to back when Subaru embarrassed himself in front of all the royal guards and stuff when he self-declared himself Amelia's knight and Julius humbled him. It was kind of a nice little parallel episode. But yeah, we're seeing the aftermath of kind of what happened after that, you know what I mean? Julius, as noble as his intentions was kind of very stupid going in alone to do this trial. And yeah, we're about to see everyone else's thoughts in the anime. We're about to see how they thought about that. So yeah, we have Ram over here aura farming for whatever reason. She also begins talking about how Julius's actions could have resulted in a group failure and things could have ended up much worse for all of them, which makes sense. We're not really sure about like the full details of this examination per se. Amelia only passed because she kind of imposed her own like kind of way she wanted this to go. She went up to Reed and basically said, we know we can't beat you, so if she is able to make Reed move even a single step, she passes. But Reed kind of found a workaround to this. He basically said, only you made me move a step, so that means only you get to pass and continue up to like the more floors of the tower. Everyone else in the group have yet to kind of pass Reed, so he basically found a workaround. He basically said, yeah, you can go, you pass, you made me move, but everyone else stays because they have not passed the exam themselves. So, you know what I mean, he found a workaround to what Amelia kind of suggested. So yeah, she's the only one that's passed at the moment. Obviously, Julius rematched him, failed. Ram's basically saying the information, you know what I mean, Reed is still this mystery guide to them. They haven't actually met Reed. The examination's still a mystery. Julius's actions could have affected them as a group. And obviously, Ram is there to wake Rem up, you know what I mean? Their actions impacts the overall reason they are there. So, you know what I mean? She's kind of valid for what she's saying, you know what I mean? Julius went there to kind of defend his honor and not think of, like, it as a group decision. So, you know what I mean? It was one of those decisions where it could have impacted the group, and that's basically what Ram is saying. And I also felt quite bad for Charlotte in this scene. As you can tell, the past 400 years have made her really miss her Master Flugel, where in this scene, she basically goes to Subaru and says, before you leave again, basically spend as much time with me as possible, because I have waited 400 years for the return of my master. And, you know what I mean? It's kind of emotional, man. She's waited in that tower, defending the tower for 400 years. Subaru, who she thinks is Master Flugel, kind of nice familiarity. She's been waiting for him to return all this time. In our eyes, Subaru is Flugel, and she's basically saying, before you leave again, which you will, spend as much time with me as possible before I have to wait another 400 years, for example. And it's quite sad, very emotional. Yeah, honestly, I feel really bad for her, I do. As Amelia and Beatrice head back to the carriage to call it a night, Subaru returns to the healing room, where he offers to switch positions with Julius and watching over Anastasia and Rem. Subaru, who had fallen asleep on the job, gets woken up by Patrochet. After waking up, he realizes Anastasia, or should I say Foxidna, has disappeared. He goes to look for her as a white bird appears before him. As Subaru chases after it, it disappears behind the wall, which seems to be a secret passageway to the balcony. As Subaru finds Foxidna staring out at the outside environment with white birds keeping her company. Subaru during this scene kind of questions, before I actually get to the part that I really enjoyed, Subaru obviously seeing Foxidna basically just disappear. He basically questions that and says, being suspicious. In his eyes, she was being suspicious. Why is it the first thing you do when you wake up is go off on your own? And especially to this balcony that has a secret passageway. He's basically questioning her motives, and he was like, how did you even know it was here? Type of thing, where she kind of defends herself and says, well, you know, I just fancied a walk around the tower. And I did the exact same thing as you. I followed the white birds, and they led me to the secret passage, which led me to the balcony. So she kind of defended herself here. Whether that's true or not, we don't know. But Subaru was rather quick to question her and feel quite suspicious. Which in hindsight, he kind of is, you know, valid for, because as much as Foxidna wants to save Anastasia, you know what I mean, these guys don't really know the spirit. And obviously when you wake up and don't tell anybody, you just disappear. You know what I mean? Suspicious. But what really got me like, oh, okay, this episode was Foxidna was questioning Subaru. She was saying, I mean, what kind of who are you, Subaru? The big question, who are you, Subaru? Where are you from? How are you able to accomplish the things that you have? That's what she's done, you know what I mean? She's fully putting him on the spot. And why I enjoy this part so much is because she is one of the first people to fully, like in the anime now, fully question, like, you know what I mean, put him on the spot and ask him these questions. Expecting answers, because obviously in, you know what I mean, most of the people, especially the Amelia camp, they don't really question where Subaru's from. They don't question like the weird kind of native things he's been saying. You know what I mean? They don't question how he knows what's going to happen. They've kind of jotted it down to it's just coincidence. He's got a really, you know what I mean, he's very good with intuition. And whenever his intuition, gut feeling, in a sense, goes off, they believe him. That's what they've kind of dumbed it down to, but they don't actually question how in the hell he knows this. But I mean, Foxidna here, she's basically putting him on the spot. She's like, who are you? Like, where do you actually come from? You know, how is it that after, you know what I mean, how is it you've accomplished so many things, but you're not, like, strong? And it's a valid question, you know what I mean, from the outside perspective, this is what I enjoyed, because I'm like, finally, someone's putting Subaru on the spot, and he's questioning, like, the mystery that revolves around him. Obviously, we know, but this guy just came out of nowhere, and has just started accomplishing all these things. She basically admits that after the White Whale and the Witch Cult events, obviously, which Subaru solved, Anastasia started digging around into Subaru's background, his past, trying to figure out who this guy is. And she basically, the furthest she could go is when Subaru first arrived in the capital, I think. And when he first met Amelia, that's the furthest she could kind of get on this guy's background. And obviously we know why, because that's the first time he's arrived in that world. So that's literally, in this world, that's the furthest he's ever been. That's the first she can actually go back. She doesn't know, obviously, Anastasia doesn't know about Japan. She doesn't know about Subaru being summoned to this world. She doesn't know about Return by Death. So, you know what I mean? She's tried to do a background check on him. She went full on information. Like, she wanted everything. She's done a full background check on him. And she was, like, kind of, you know what I mean? She was kind of, like, shocked that she couldn't find anything about Subaru past the point of him first making an appearance in the capital. I know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? It's valid suspicion. And in this scene, Foxidna is afraid of Subaru. We see the scene where her hands are shaking when she's speaking to him, questioning him about who he is, where he's from, was he able to accomplish so many feats, how did he know when was going to happened. And that's what I really enjoyed, because I'm like, damn, someone is finally putting him on the spot. However, Subaru, he kind of doesn't know what to really say. He just says it was all kind of a coincidence that it happened, type of thing. Before she can question him further, though, Julius is eavesdropping. Yep. Julius has been eavesdropping, and he basically overheard the part where Foxidna said that Anastasia, and it's been Foxidna ever since the Priscilla incident, which kind of pisses off Julius quite a lot. Honestly, he is so valid because I think he's devoting his life, his skills to protect Anastasia, and he's kind of like, wow, why do you not trust me to know this information? Why did you not trust me to know information that Anastasia's in a poor condition and that somebody else is possessing her body? Like, he full on pulls a sword out on her and everything. And I kind of like this scene as well because, you know what I mean, it's kind of realism. Like, this guy is meant to be the closest to Anastasia. You'd think he'd be the first one to know or to figure out that it hasn't been Anastasia this entire time, but has been a spirit possessing her body. And what makes him kind of more upset is the fact Subaru found out before him. It upsets him that both of them didn't tell him. But during this scene, he basically says that he doesn't blame them, and he doesn't blame Subaru for not telling him, because he would have probably done the same thing in this exact situation if it was Subaru. And Subaru obviously feels bad, because we know full well if the roles were reversed and Julius found out Emilia wasn't Emilia before Subaru would be pissed. Honestly, he would be upsetting himself. He'd be pissed off. And, you know what I mean, Julius is valid in this situation. Obviously, Subaru feels bad because he knows he's kept this from Julius. He knows Julius is already going through a rough time. So, to put this on top of that, it is bad, man. It is bad. Like, you know what I mean, Julius feels kind of guilty because he wasn't the one to witness the differences. It was Subaru who guessed it. And obviously Subaru was like, oh, it was just a coincidence. It was just a coincidence. But Julius knows better. And obviously I do feel bad for Julius in this scene because, you know, the most important person to you, you couldn't guess the difference. You couldn't guess it was someone else in the body. But someone else who isn't close to her realised it. Do you know what I mean? I do feel bad for him. He's very valid for that kind of a crash out, putting him on the spot. Yeah, no, honestly, he is valid. So Julius begins escorting Foxidna back into the tower as he tells Subaru that he understands why they did what they did. However, he's upset that they would question him as a knight and can find information from him, as Subaru knows he's basically just fucked up here. On his own way back, Subaru bumps into Ram as she admits she was about to pay a visit to Reed, but stopped halfway, realising she needs to be smarter about her decisions, as they could reflect saving Ram. Subaru begins pondering how the group could overcome Reed's challenge, as an idea seems to have popped in his head as he ascends a staircase. Now, the next scene is a massive shocker. This is the scene that will make anime onlys go like, what? How? What's happening? What's going on? How did this happen? You know what I mean? This scene, it's a shocker. It's a shocker. Subaru awakens quite startled. He begins questioning his environment and the people around him, which would be Emilia, Beatrice and Patricia, as he describes them in a monologue as their appearances, like this is his first time encountering them. His eyes have a sharp glow of realisation as we get a parallel to episode 1 where Subaru first arrived in the ReZero world. He pulls a pose and says the iconic, "Have I been summoned across the universe to another world?" as the episode ends there. Holy fucking shit. Anime onlys are going to be surprised with this one because they're going to be like, what the fuck? Subaru had an idea, he ascended the staircase, and he wakes up and he's forgotten his memories. Subaru, yes, in this scene, Subaru has forgotten his memories. He's gone all the way back to season 1, episode 1, Subaru, when he first got summoned to the world. He's gone back to that Subaru. He's forgot all of the character development he's had. He's forgot all of the friends he's made. He's forgot all about the enemies he's defeated. He's forgot about Return by Death. This is literally Subaru as he's exited the convenience store. That's why the title is called I Exited the Convenience Store and Into Another World. This is the Subaru that has exited the convenience store, but instead of like how it happened in season 1, episode 1, where he just like kind of opened his eyes and he was just there. He opens his eyes and yeah, he's lying down. That's why when he first woke up, he kind of was like startled, like his movements were like, like he was falling. Because think, 1 minute he's standing up, the second he opens his eyes and he's lying down. That's why he acted the way he did, like he was falling. Because, you know what I mean, 1 minute he's standing up, the next he's standing down. But honestly, it's a shocker. He's gone back all the way to season 1, episode 1, Subaru. He doesn't know about Return by Death. He doesn't know about all these friends he's made. These guys are strangers to him now. He's forgotten his memories. And honestly, the next 4 episodes are going to be peak because I've been reading ahead of Arc 6 again. And honestly, yeah, honestly, the next few episodes are going to be peak as hell. This is a whole new Subaru. And honestly, I'm going to feel so bad for him. I am honestly going to feel so bad for him because this isn't a Subaru from episode 1 that was like making friends right off the bat. Obviously, he made friends with Amelia first. He was going to get to know people. In this, these guys are strangers. He's woke up in a room full of strangers. And I'm not going to go too into it. I'm not going to spoil it. But things are gonna happen to him that are worse than what happened to him in season 1, episode 1, I believe. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. Like I said, quite a lot of stuff's happened. You know, we have Subaru question Foxidna. We got Foxidna putting Subaru on the spot, asking questions that everyone should be asking, but no one seems to be asking. And now she was doing a whole background check on him. Julius found out that Anastasia isn't Anastasia now. You know what I mean? He's found out. We find out now that Subaru, his memories have been reset. Yeah, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff's happened. And the sad thing is, a lot of people on Twitter, especially people who have read the light novel, they were kind of like saying this episode wasn't all that. But in my opinion, this episode was all that. Like, maybe direction-wise, things kind of could have gone a lot differently. But story-wise, I don't see the problem. I really don't. Like, anime-onlys, they enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? They enjoyed it. And that's what I mean. Like, everyone needs their own experiences with shows like this. Everyone needs to form their own opinions. And a lot of anime-onlys enjoyed the episode. And they were shocked at the cliffhanger. And that's what the episode should have done anyway. That's the reason. That's the whole point of that episode. Is to really put people on the spot. And make them question at the end, like, whoa, what the hell's going on? What's going to happen now? You know what I mean? The job did its job. You know what I mean? The episode has been done justice, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? I really enjoyed it. It makes me excited for the next few weeks of adaptation. And a lot of people are saying Arc 6 starts now. And that's what the author said at the end of Subaru announcing he's been summoned to another world again. There was an end scene, there was an end note, and it said, this is where Arc 6 truly starts, the Hall of Memories. And basically, so everything before this episode was a prologue. This has been the prologue. Apparently, I mean, to the author, this is where the arc truly starts. And I have to agree with him, I really do, because this is where shit hits the fan. This has been the calm before the storm. If you thought episode 2 and 3 were bad, holy fucking shit. People aren't ready. Oh, I'm not ready. I mean, I want to see it happen. But alas, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, leave a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you thought of the episode. How you felt during that cliffhanger. You know, finding out Subaru had his memories reset. Let me know your predictions. And yeah, honestly, amazing episode again. I believe I am being biased as always, but I truly deep down, I did enjoy the episode. I did think it was peak fiction. But yeah, that's just me. I love ReZero. I'm glazing. I will admit I am glazing, but we glaze the things we love. Alas, thank you all so much for watching again, and I will see you all for next week's episode. Peace out and have a good rest of your day and night.